All right, Dame, what I appreciate about you is you don't let anyone put you in a box. So even though you're injured, you're still going to be the first NBA All-Star to perform on Saturday night. How did
Yeah.
this all come about?
They mentioned it to me, like, is this something that you would be interested in? What do you think about the idea of performing? And I was like, let's do it. I mean, it's been something that I've been working towards, not just the performance, but just building up the brand of myself as an artist. And to be an all-star, the only person to compete in every event in the weekend, in the same weekend, this just adds to that resume and also gives me a chance to, further my rap career. So we both felt like it would be good for the league and good for me, so we signed up.
Yeah, you creating new categories to compete in, basically.
Yeah.
Chuck D tweeted about you not a rapper, but as a leader,
Yeah.
and how impressed he was. What's it like when people like Chuck D take to Twitter and want to honor who you are off the court?
I mean, well, obviously he is who he is, very well respected, and you also know he's not just going to say something that's surface level that doesn't, have something real behind it. But I think when you get something like that from an OG, somebody that's respected, I think they recognize it as genuine, and they see something is really there, especially for him to take to Twitter and express it. So for me, it's just like, I appreciate the acknowledgement. I appreciate that he recognizes, the things that everybody just doesn't recognize. So I think that's pretty cool.
All right, you talk about being an OG. You're an OG in the basketball game, but you're still
Not
doing
even.
things. You are.
Not even.
You're doing things that we haven't seen. So I want to go back through the 10-game tear.
Okay.
8 games of at least 30 points, 4 games of at least 40 points.
Yeah.
What was going on during that stretch?
I mean, basically, we had got to a point where in the locker room and in the tunnel heading out to the floor, we talking about let's make the playoffs and let's make our push. It start tonight. And the season was coming along, and it was like we letting games slip, and, we continuing to struggle. And then we hit a stretch where we played a lot of good teams. It was like Houston twice, Utah twice, the Lakers, Indiana. We was Dallas. We had good teams stacked up, home and road. And I was just like, this the time to really, get super aggressive and apply some pressure, because this could easily be a stretch where we get some confidence and beat some good teams, or it could be the end.
Right.
We can come out here and lose every one of these games and it'll be over. So my mentality was just to really try to impose my will on the game and be super aggressive and just live with the results. And fortunate for me, it worked out in my favor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As a team that's coming off of a Western Conference Finals trip, obviously there's high expectations coming into the season. How would you characterize where you guys stand now?
I feel like we in the middle of a test. Like you said, coming off the Western Conference Finals, we had high expectations, and we went into the summer planning on doing our work so we can take that next step this season. And then we come back, we got injuries. We lose our starting small forward, tears his Achilles. Our starting power forward has a shoulder injury. Our starting center is still out from a fractured leg. We got other guys in and out the lineup. I missed a few games. CJ missed like 5 games. Then we bring in Melo, and then we trade 2 guys that was in our rotation and bring in Caleb Swanigan and Trevor Reese. So it's just been a lot of change, a lot of adversity, a lot of stuff hitting our team. And we've just continued to respond to it and deal with it and, try to find a way. So I think we just in the middle of a test of thinking it was going to be one way, and it's been the total opposite. And, we just continuing to, fight through it.
You just described a lot of adversity.
Yeah.
So what have you learned about yourself during this test?
I learned that I'm a very patient person. I knew that already, but I know I've learned that I have a lot of patience, and just that I really care about my teammates, because being the star of a team, everybody on the outside likes to say, oh, well, he needs some help, and they need to do this for Dame, and he's carrying the team. People like to say things like that. But I'm in the locker room and on the court every day, and I know that, I blow defensive assignments, and I know that I had 61 one game, I missed 20 shots. You know what I'm saying? And my teammates, they don't say nothing about that. They don't point the finger just like I don't point the finger. So I just realized that, I really care about the team, because I realize it's not about me. and I appreciate going through that struggle and a tough season with my teammates. So I think I realized those two things, and that like I do stuff wrong too. Like it was a point in the season where we was losing, and I was getting frustrated and getting irritated sometimes, and the coaches would be like, "Dame, fix your body language. You better than that. Dame, just keep being patient. Dame, just keep, So it was a point where I was leaning on the coaches. You know what I'm saying? And they had my back, and they was willing to tell me what I needed to hear, and not just be like, "It's all right, you right." Just kind of like pat me on the back. So I think that's the stuff people miss. And I've learned that I need that too. Like sometimes I need somebody to get on my case too.
You're one of those guys, though, that's unique where you have teammates over to your house. You care about the first starter as much as you do as the 12th man on the bench. I mean, describe where that desire to be a leader that makes sure it's all inclusive on your team comes from.
I mean, I don't do it I'm not that way because I'm trying to be a leader. I'm that way with my teammates because I grew up with a lot of cousins. And, like, I lived in a house with my cousins, and where we slept 5 people in the bed, or we sleep on the floor and we making pallets, and we get up the next day and we go to the store, and when we buying candy and drinks and chips and all that, we buying it, planning on sharing it. Like, how can we spread this thin? Like, where all of us can have some. Sharing clothes, going to the park and having to, like, look out for each other. Like, I come from that type of environment, that type of family, so I naturally just care about the people that I'm around. That I'm with my teammates and coaches and trainers, everybody, every day. So it's natural for me to genuinely like care for the people around me and want the best for them, and not feel like, oh, this just my teammate, or we just work together, because that's not how I grew up. So being in a leadership role is natural for me to like feel like I should be looking out for them, or feel like I should have their best interest. If it's something that I can, do or be of service, then I feel like that's what I should be doing because of my upbringing.
Basically, I just heard your teammates are your cousins, and I'm going to remember
Basically.
that. The Trailblazers are all cousins now.
Basically, I mean, for real. Like, that's really why it's that way.
Okay, last question. Where does this team need to go after the All-Star break? What is going to be the most important aspect of this team's progression the rest of the season?
I mean, I think we've gotten to a point where we are playing better basketball. Like I said earlier, we beat a lot of good teams. And I think if we can sustain that mentality and that brand of basketball, we can win a lot of games, especially the last 26 games, because it's a favorable schedule for us. A lot of home games, a lot of teams that we can beat. So I think if we continue to play like we have been, like I said, I think we'll win a lot of games. And we always go on a run the second half of the season. So I'm counting on that.
What's up? Thank you so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. Don't forget to download the ESPN app. And if you want more premium content, which you do, make sure that you subscribe to ESPN+. See you soon.